today is our first sort of snapshot assessments. They're little mini versions of the bigger assessments that we do. So instead of spending kind of a larger chunk of time on doing one big reading assessment, one big listening assessment, one big writing assessment, one big speaking assessment, we're doing little mini ones. Today, we're doing 3. So each one's only going to take around 10 minutes. So we will be doing our listening assessment first, where you listen to what I say in Spanish and show me your comprehension by writing out a version of it in English. We'll be doing a reading assessment, which is very similar in structure, except instead of writing the English of what you understood me say, you're writing the English of what you read and understood. And then the third one we're going to do is a writing. Now you're going to have your notebooks so that before we start writing, you can take a peek at the prompts, pick one, and jot down a couple of phrases or words that would be useful when you actually do your writing. You can't copy down complete sentences. You can't write the English of what it means down, but you can say like, ooh, I wanted to remember that like the ia ending after an infinitive means like would do, or lo siento, internet. Or that you want to remember that, this is all about describing setting. So like, what it felt like, what it smelled like, what you could see. And so any of those expressions that we've already used like in our writings that could potentially help you to meet that goal are the kind of things that you could write down. I'm going to send Lauren quick across the hall to grab the copies that I totally responsibly had printed and ready and set to go. Okay. And then I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. I'm going to try to buzz through this fairly quickly so you know what I'm looking for. That's not yours. Thank you. Okay, I know this is quite small, but don't worry about it because I'm going to explain it to you. You're going to have 3 sheets today, 1 for your listening, 1 for your reading, 1 for your writing. I am only going to grade one of these sections today. It'll either be reading or listening. I haven't decided which one yet. The writing is simply going to be a sample. That's it, just a little sample. It's not going to get graded. We will score it on the rubric so you can see how you would have done, but you're going to do that part yourself in another class tomorrow. So in your listening, I'm going to stand up here with some visual, talk to you about it, just like I do in a regular class. And then you're going to show me what you understood by telling me in English. In order to get a 5 out of 5, you need to be able to tell me in your retelling what it's like, where it's happening, when it's happening. Those 3 things. And if there's more detail to where, like starts in one place, compares it to another, you should have that. If there's more detail to when, like it has yesterday, today, tomorrow, or the weekend, or September, or January, or the season, you should be able to tell me that one. In the second category, you're just giving details that answer that question. Ideally, to get a 5, you'd have like 5 good sensory details. To get a 4, you'd have 4 good sensory details. To get a 3, you'd have at least 3 good sensory details. And to get a 2, you might not have really told me what the setting is like at all. Not even the date. Like that, what is happening. Now, it only goes to 2, but yes, you can score lower than 2. If you score a 3 or lower, that tells me you need more input time. And also, please do remember that for some of you, your expectations are tweaked a little bit based on your proficiency and what I should be able to expect from you. Okay? I'm going to have you grab clipboards and one of these that says interpretive listening. And then sit quietly back in your chair, let a smidge more spread out. You've got 60 seconds.
Just keep hitting it.
Don't sit there, effer! Just make Monty move his chair 5 feet over.
Are you still recording?
Yeah. Double check that the paper you have says Cycle 1, Phase 1, checkpoint, interpretive listening, CC Spanish. If it does not say that, you got the wrong one. Write your name and your hour, which is 6. When you're done with that, I want to see your eyes. All right, 80%, 90%. I know one. There he is. Okay.
What?
Here's how the listening evaluation is going to go. I will give you the information twice. The first time, you will have nothing in your hand. You will only be listening. And I will be using a visual aid to support what I say. The second time, I'll be saying almost exactly the same thing. Not quite, but close. And after each sentence that I say, I'll pause, give you time to write out your interpretation of it, retelling it in English in a way that feels natural, maybe it's simplified, that tells what you understood from it. Does not have to use word for word. If you can do word for word, often. And I won't be repeating myself. I also, that second time through, will not be using the visual aid. So you need to pay close attention both times. The first time with the visual aid, the second time with no visual aid, and pausing after each sentence for you to have a chance to write your thoughts down. Chris, you got a question?
Yeah, can we like, if like the adjective, you know, all the adjectives that's like behind the noun, do we do in English the noun and then the adjective or the adjective?
Great question. So when you do your retell in English, say it in a way that would sound natural in English. So as if you were writing it for somebody who's not in this class. Good. Yeah, you don't have to do it the Shakespearean way. Okay, class A. Go ahead and put everything on the floor, please. And there cannot be any talking. Where you at? There we go. Okay, clase. Este es un mapa de España. España es un país en Europa. La capital de España es Madrid y Madrid está básicamente en el centro del país. Está aquí más o menos, Madrid. En el mapa, el color verde representa precipitación. Así que en este momento, en el norte de España, está lloviendo. También en el mapa hay símbolos. Hay símbolos amarillos. Estos símbolos representan tormentas. Pero miren aquí en el centro. En la capital no está lloviendo. Y no hay tormentas en Madrid en este momento. Pero al norte sí hay tormentas. Vamos a ver un poco más en el futuro. Un poquito más en el futuro, como mañana a las 2 de la mañana. Es muy tarde o es muy temprano, yo no sé. Pero a las 2 de la mañana va a estar totalmente claro, menos en la capital. A las 2 de la mañana, en la capital, va a estar lloviendo. No va a haber tormenta, pero va a estar lloviendo. Ahora, en la capital, que está más o menos aquí, la temperatura es 23 grados, pero es en Celsius, 23 grados Celsius es como 73 grados Fahrenheit, más o menos. Así que no hace mucho calor, pero está un poco caluroso. No hace frío, seguramente. Pero un poco más tarde, mañana, a las 2 de la mañana, cuando está lloviendo, la temperatura va a bajar. La temperatura va a bajar. Va a bajar hasta 13 grados. Es el punto mínimo de temperatura y es a las 8 de la mañana. La temperatura es un poco cíclico, que sube hasta la tarde y baja en la noche. Y sube hasta la tarde y baja en la noche. ¿Correcto? Sí. Así que a las 8 de la mañana va a estar un poco frío en Madrid, en la capital. Ok, chicos. This time, I'm going to more or less repeat what I said. Excuse me. But this time I'll do some pauses. And you are going to be writing down in English what you understood. You cannot be talking to each other in the middle of a test.
Wait, so now we're writing what you
Now you're going to be writing, yes.
English or so in English? Or
You are writing in English.
sorry.
You can write as I'm speaking and when I pause. La capital de España es Madrid. Madrid está localizado más o menos en el centro del país. En el norte del país está lloviendo, pero en la capital no. Pero a las 2 de la mañana va a estar lloviendo en la capital y claro en el resto del país. That one I'm going to say twice because those are really long. Pero a las 2 de la mañana va a estar lloviendo en la capital, pero claro en el resto del país. Ahora, en la capital, la temperatura es más o menos 70 grados. 73. 73 grados. Pero durante la noche, la temperatura va a bajar hasta un punto mínimo de 13 grados Celsius. Las temperaturas son cíclicas, que suben hasta la tarde y bajan en la noche. Que suben en la tarde y bajan en la noche. I think that's it. without talking, make sure your name is on top. Por favor. And your hour. Pass those papers down this way. Yeah, absolutely. Ready, so, see? Gracias. 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 Gracias, señor. Okay, chicos. Next up, reading. So, you are going to get a page that looks really, 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 really similar to what you just had. It's not this one. It's not that one. It's not this one. It's not that. There it is. Guess I made too many copies for this file. Okay. The only difference, really, is that the rubric is based on showing that you understood what you read instead of showing that you understood what you heard. And the thing that you are going to read is this teeny tiny little paragraph right here. It's not much. It's just a little antojito. A little snack. Correct. Yep. And so we call it retelling it. So it doesn't have to be perfect exactly word for word. It doesn't have to be the funny Shakespearean alternative word order that we would see in Spanish. Just if you were going to explain it to somebody, how would you do that? But I want you to stand up real quick. Okay. Thank you. And still, we're looking for a couple of things like that you can answer the who and the what. Not who. The what and the when and the where. And then pull out as many sensory and scene details as you possibly can. You're going to have, what time is this class done? 59. You're going to have like 8 minutes to do this. Then we're going to have 5 minutes in which you're going to get a chance to look at the possible writing prompts and prep your writing. From the time I hand this out to the time I collect it, there can't be any talking. If you've got questions for me, raise your hand. Do not shout them out, especially if it would somehow give something away. I don't know. I'm not going to answer questions about what words mean, but I will answer questions about, like, how do you want this done? Yeah. Yeah, what's going on?
Does it have to be word for word? Because then it just,
No, that's what
sounds weird.
That's what I'm saying. Like, retell it in a way that would sound natural.
Okay.
Yep, gotta monitor that. Gotta be very careful about it.
What?
Yep, gotta monitor. Be careful about it.
I just got slower.
If you can do that while you're doing the test.
Yep.
Okay. It starts now. I'll put a timer up on the board for us. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, you guys can sit at the table if you like.
Oh, we can.
Lo siento. Yes, go ahead. Absolutely. So Christopher, oh, I did the wrong paper. Sorry. This one. Great. You have a sip? Absolutely. So there are a few prompts on the board that are options of something that you could vary for doing your Spanish writing. You are going to get like 4 minutes with your notebooks open to write down words or expressions that will help you be more successful in doing this task. You might not write down complete sentences. You may not write down complete sentences. You may not write down any English. But you can write down a word or a chunk of language or a little ending to help you remember how to do something. So ideally, and these are all things that we've already written about, it would be something that is not just present tense, but maybe has some element of now, some element of before, some element of in the future, will be or would be. And if that's going to be a bit of a stretch for you, then at least focus on the present tense. We've got a really varied range of abilities right now. So you can use the first 2 lines to write Spanish words or short phrases that will help you communicate one of those ideas. Then after those 4 minutes, you're going to write as much as you can. Oh, I forgot already. Okay. You're going to write as much as you can with no English until class is done.